Have you ever been around people who always seem like they're in a good mood? I mean, it's like no matter what's going on in life, no matter what's going on around them, they're always genuinely smiling and they seem ready for like a flash mob to break out anywhere at any time. Do they have less pain? Do they have less problems than the rest of us? That's what I wonder sometimes. And if I'm honest, part of me is jealous, but another part of me is just kind of annoyed. And if you're like me, probably you just want to know their secret. Is it like this personality type? Is it genetic? They just came stock with it? Maybe. But Moses, the prophet Moses, gets to something pretty universal in Psalm 90. He asks God for a special ability. He says, give us gladness in proportion to our former misery. Replace the evil years with good, he says. For Moses, his present joy is not about personality type. Neither is it about conjuring up emotions he's not feeling at the moment. Instead, it's all about God's perspective. He asked God, help me reevaluate the past to see it differently than my emotions are telling me. Again, it's about perspective. Moses knows his human eyes struggle to find gladness and goodness in what is miserable and evil. We just can't conjure this stuff up. He knows that perspective change is the only path to be joyful and hopeful throughout life. I think a lot of us can relate to that. It's hard to look back at hard and even traumatic moments to somehow mine gladness and goodness from them, to conjure up some smile or dancing. But here's the good news. Just like Moses, we can ask God for this ability, and God promises to help us. One of the first leaders of the very first church, a man named James, he was the half-brother of Jesus. He said this about life, a life of someone who believes and follows Jesus. He says, if anyone lacks wisdom, you can ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. If you lack wisdom, if you lack perspective, ask God, because he gives it generously. He's not going to put you on a guilt trip. He doesn't expect you to know everything. Maybe we should just stop trying to conjure up joy and hope on our own and just ask God for help. Ask him for some wisdom. Ask him for some perspective.